Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm excited to share something important with you today. Let's talk about muscle strength as we age. Many seniors notice that simple tasks like getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, or carrying groceries become more challenging over time. This gradual loss of muscle mass, called sarcopenia, affects millions of people worldwide. Research shows that after age 30, we typically lose 3 to 8% of our muscle mass per decade, and this process accelerates after age 60. But here's the good news: this isn't inevitable. Studies from leading institutions like the Mayo Clinic and Harvard Medical School have identified specific daily habits that can help restore and maintain muscle strength well into our 80s and beyond. Some seniors following these practices have the strength and vitality of people decades younger. Today, I'm going to share 7 research-backed habits that can help you rebuild muscle strength naturally. These aren't complicated fitness routines or expensive treatments. They're simple, practical strategies that any senior can implement safely at home. What makes these habits special is that they work with your body's natural processes to not just maintain muscle, but actually restore strength you may have lost. Research published in the Journal of Gerontology shows that seniors who follow these principles can increase their muscle mass by 20 to 30% within just 12 weeks. Before we get started, I'd love to know where you're joining me from today. Drop a comment below and feel free to ask any questions you have about maintaining muscle strength as we age. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a health-boosting tip. We're building a community of health-conscious seniors who want to stay strong and independent, and I'm grateful you're part of it. Now let's dive into these 7 life-changing habits that can help you feel decades younger. Number 1. Progressive resistance training, the foundation of strength. Let's start with the most important habit, progressive resistance training. This isn't about becoming a bodybuilder or lifting heavy weights at the gym. It's about gradually challenging your muscles in a way that tells your body to maintain and build strength. How exactly does progressive resistance training help seniors maintain muscle mass? Your muscles operate on a use it or lose it principle, but with an important twist. Simply using your muscles at the same level every day isn't enough to maintain them as we age. You need to progressively challenge them to prevent the natural decline that comes with aging. Research from Tufts University shows that seniors who engage in progressive resistance training can increase their muscle strength by 35% and add an average of 3.3 pounds of muscle mass in just 12 weeks. The study followed 200 participants aged 65 to 85 and found that those who gradually increased their resistance training intensity showed remarkable improvements not just in strength, but also in bone density, cognitive function, and blood sugar control. The key word here is progressive. This means gradually increasing the challenge over time. Your muscles adapt to whatever stress you place on them, so if you use the same light weights week after week, your muscles will plateau. However, by slowly increasing the resistance, repetitions, or difficulty, you continue to stimulate muscle growth and strength gains. What makes this approach perfect for seniors is that it's completely adaptable to your current fitness level. You might start with bodyweight exercises like modified squats, where you sit down and stand up from a chair. As you get stronger, you can add light weights or resistance bands. The beauty is that you're always working at the right level for your body while continuously improving. The most effective approach focuses on compound movements, exercises that work multiple muscle groups simultaneously. Think of movements like squats, which work your legs, core, and back all at once. These are more functional than isolated exercises like bicep curls, because they mirror real-life activities and produce a stronger hormonal response that promotes muscle growth. Studies show that the eccentric or lowering portion of exercises is particularly beneficial for seniors. When you slowly lower a weight or slowly sit down into a chair, you're creating controlled stress on the muscle that's actually easier on the joints while being highly effective for building strength. For timing, research indicates that 2 30-minute sessions per week are sufficient to see significant improvements. This approach works even for seniors who are just starting their fitness journey. A study from the University of Alabama found that previously sedentary seniors who began a progressive resistance training program showed measurable strength gains within the first 2 weeks. The safety aspect is crucial for seniors. Working with a qualified trainer initially can help you learn proper form and develop a program that's appropriate for your fitness level and any health conditions you may have. The goal is to challenge your muscles without overwhelming your system or risking injury. Remember, the real danger isn't in doing resistance training, it's in avoiding it. Without progressive resistance training, muscle loss accelerates, leading to increased risk of falls, fractures, and loss of independence. This single habit can be the difference between maintaining your independence and needing assistance with daily activities. Number 2, strategic protein timing. Maximize muscle building. Now let's talk about protein timing, a strategy that can be just as important as how much protein you consume. This is something many seniors get wrong, and it's costing them valuable muscle mass. How exactly does protein timing affect muscle building in seniors? As we age, our bodies develop what researchers call anabolic resistance. Essentially, our muscles become less efficient at using protein to build and repair muscle tissue. However, research shows that strategic timing of protein intake can help overcome this natural decline. The key discovery comes from research published in the Journal of Nutrition, which found that spreading protein intake throughout the day is more effective than consuming large amounts at once. Your muscles have what's called a protein synthesis window that lasts approximately 3 to 4 hours after each meal. During this window, your muscles are actively using amino acids from protein to repair and build new muscle tissue. Here's what most seniors do wrong. They eat very little protein at breakfast, maybe some at lunch, and then have a large protein-rich dinner. This pattern means they're only getting one optimal protein synthesis window per day, missing out on 2 other opportunities to build muscle. Research from the University of Texas followed seniors for 12 weeks and found that those who distributed their protein intake evenly throughout the day increased their muscle protein synthesis by 25%, compared to those who ate the same total amount of protein concentrated in fewer meals. The participants who followed this timing strategy gained an average of 1.2 pounds of muscle mass without changing any other aspect of their routine. The optimal approach is to consume 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein at each meal. This amount provides enough amino acids to maximally stimulate muscle protein synthesis. For breakfast, this might mean choosing eggs, Greek yogurt, or a protein smoothie instead of cereal or toast. For lunch and dinner, include lean meats, fish, dairy, or plant-based proteins like lentils and beans. What constitutes high-quality protein for seniors? Complete proteins that contain all essential amino acids are ideal. These include animal proteins like eggs, dairy, fish, and poultry, as well as plant-based complete proteins like quinoa and soy. The amino acid leucine is particularly important for stimulating muscle protein synthesis, and seniors may need slightly more leucine than younger adults to achieve the same muscle-building response. Timing around exercise is also crucial. Research shows that consuming protein within 2 hours after resistance training can enhance the muscle-building response. This doesn't mean you need expensive protein powders. A glass of milk, some Greek yogurt, or a handful of nuts can be just as effective. For seniors who have difficulty eating large amounts of food, this timing strategy is actually helpful because it spreads protein intake across smaller, more manageable meals. You're not trying to consume more protein overall, you're just distributing it more effectively throughout the day. Special considerations for seniors include medication timing. Some medications can affect protein absorption, so it's worth discussing with your healthcare provider whether your medications might interfere with protein utilization. Additionally, seniors with kidney issues should consult their doctor about appropriate protein intake levels. The practical implementation is straightforward. Start by evaluating your current eating pattern. Are you getting protein at each meal? If not, begin by adding one high-protein food to each meal. It might be as simple as adding a hard-boiled egg to your breakfast or including a small portion of chicken in your lunch salad. Hydration also plays a role in protein utilization. Adequate water intake helps transport amino acids to muscle tissue and supports the various metabolic processes involved in muscle protein synthesis. Aim for consistent hydration throughout the day, not just during meals. Number 3. Optimizing vitamin D levels. The muscle vitamin. Let's explore what researchers call the muscle vitamin, vitamin D. This nutrient is critically important for muscle function, yet more than 80% of seniors have insufficient levels. How exactly does vitamin D support muscle strength in seniors? Vitamin D receptors are found throughout your muscle tissue, and when activated, they trigger processes essential for muscle growth and maintenance. Research from Harvard University shows that vitamin D activates specific genes involved in muscle protein synthesis and helps maintain the neuromuscular connections that allow your brain to communicate effectively with your muscles. The connection between vitamin D and muscle strength is remarkable. A groundbreaking study published in JAMA Internal Medicine followed 2,000 seniors for 5 years and found that those with optimal vitamin D levels had 25% greater muscle strength compared to those with deficient levels. These same participants also showed significantly better balance, coordination, and reaction times, all crucial factors in preventing falls. What makes vitamin D deficiency so common among seniors? Several factors contribute to this widespread problem. First, our skin's ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight decreases by about 50% between ages 20 and 65. Second, many seniors spend less time outdoors, reducing sun exposure. Third, older adults often have reduced dietary intake of vitamin D-rich foods. Finally, certain medications commonly prescribed to seniors can interfere with vitamin D absorption or metabolism. The standard recommendation of 600 international units per day is insufficient for most seniors. Research indicates that most older adults need 2,000 to 4,000 international units daily to achieve optimal blood levels. However, this should always be individualized based on blood testing, as vitamin D needs can vary significantly from person to person. Optimal vitamin D levels for muscle health are generally considered to be above 40 nanograms per milliliter. Levels below 20 nanograms per milliliter are considered deficient, while levels between 20 to 30 nanograms per milliliter are insufficient. Seniors with levels above 40 nanograms per milliliter consistently show better muscle strength, balance, and overall physical performance. The best approach to optimizing vitamin D includes multiple strategies. Safe sun exposure of 15 to 20 minutes daily during midday hours can help, but this becomes less effective as we age. Food sources include fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, egg yolks from pasture-raised chickens, and fortified dairy products. However, for most seniors, supplementation is necessary to achieve optimal levels. When choosing a vitamin D supplement, vitamin D3 cholecalciferol is preferred over vitamin D2 ergocholecalciferol because it's more effective at raising blood levels. Taking vitamin D with a meal containing some fat can improve absorption, as it's a fat-soluble vitamin. An important consideration for seniors is the relationship between vitamin D and vitamin K2. Research shows that vitamin K2 helps direct calcium to the bones rather than allowing it to accumulate in arteries. When taking higher doses of vitamin D, which increases calcium absorption, adequate vitamin K2 intake becomes crucial for cardiovascular health. Good sources of vitamin K2 include fermented foods like sauerkraut and certain cheeses. The muscle benefits of adequate vitamin D extend beyond just strength. Research shows that optimal vitamin D levels can improve muscle fiber composition, enhance muscle contraction speed, and reduce muscle pain and stiffness. Some studies suggest that vitamin D supplementation can reduce the risk of falls by up to 20% in seniors with previously low levels. For seniors with mobility limitations, vitamin D becomes even more critical. Those who spend most of their time indoors are at highest risk for deficiency and may need higher supplementation doses. Regular blood testing every 6 to 12 months can help ensure levels remain in the optimal range. Timing of vitamin D supplementation can also matter. Some research suggests that taking vitamin D in the morning may be preferable, as it can support natural circadian rhythms. However, the most important factor is consistency, taking your supplement at the same time each day. Number 4. Daily inflammation management, protecting your muscles. Let's talk about inflammation management, a crucial factor that many seniors overlook, but can make the difference between maintaining strong muscles and experiencing rapid muscle loss. How exactly does inflammation affect muscle mass in seniors? Chronic low-grade inflammation, which researchers call inflammaging, is one of the primary drivers of age-related muscle loss. This persistent inflammatory state breaks down muscle protein faster than your body can replace it, while simultaneously blocking the anabolic signals that normally promote muscle growth after exercise and protein intake. Research from Tufts University found that seniors with the highest inflammatory markers lost muscle mass 3 times faster than those with lower inflammation levels, regardless of their protein intake or exercise habits. This demonstrates that managing inflammation is just as important as other muscle-building strategies. The good news is that inflammation levels can be controlled through specific daily habits. Let's explore the most effective strategies that strong seniors use to keep inflammation in check. First, sleep quality is foundational for inflammation control. Poor sleep can increase inflammatory cytokines by up to 40%, which directly accelerates muscle breakdown. Research shows that seniors who maintain consistent sleep schedules, going to bed and waking up at the same time each day, have significantly lower inflammatory markers. Creating a dark, cool sleeping environment and avoiding screens before bedtime can dramatically improve sleep quality and reduce inflammation. Second, gut health plays a crucial role in systemic inflammation. Studies from the University of California reveal that age-related changes in gut bacteria are a direct cause of increased inflammation throughout the body. Seniors who maintain diverse, healthy gut bacteria have measurably lower inflammatory markers and better muscle retention. The strategy involves consuming a variety of plant foods, aimed for 30 different types per week. This includes vegetables, fruits, herbs, spices, nuts, and seeds. Each different plant food feeds different beneficial bacteria in your gut. Additionally, including fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, and kimchi provides natural probiotics that support gut health. Fiber diversity is equally important. Different types of fiber feed different bacterial species, so including soluble fiber from oats and beans, insoluble fiber from vegetables and whole grains, and resistant starch from cooled potatoes and green bananas creates an optimal environment for beneficial bacteria. Third, exercise intensity management is crucial for inflammation control. While regular movement is essential, seniors need to be strategic about workout intensity. Excessive high-intensity exercise can actually increase inflammation, while moderate, consistent activity reduces it. The most effective approach involves mostly moderate intensity exercise with brief intense intervals only 1 to 2 times per week. Fourth, specific anti-inflammatory nutrients can significantly reduce inflammatory markers. Omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA from fatty fish, are among the most powerful anti-inflammatory compounds. Research shows that 2 to 3 grams daily of omega-3s can reduce inflammatory markers by 15 to 20% in seniors. If you don't eat fish regularly, a high-quality fish oil supplement can be effective. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, has powerful anti-inflammatory properties. Studies show that curcumin supplementation can reduce inflammatory markers as effectively as some anti-inflammatory medications. For best absorption, consume curcumin with black pepper or choose a supplement that includes piperine. Polyphenol-rich foods provide additional anti-inflammatory benefits. Blueberries, cherries, green tea, and extra virgin olive oil are particularly rich in these compounds. Research indicates that consuming these foods regularly can reduce inflammatory markers by 10 to 15% within weeks. The practical implementation involves creating daily routines that naturally reduce inflammation. Start each day with a cup of green tea and berries with your breakfast. Include a variety of colorful vegetables at lunch and dinner. Use extra virgin olive oil as your primary cooking fat. End your day with a consistent bedtime routine that promotes quality sleep. Monitoring your inflammation levels can be helpful. A simple blood test measuring high-sensitivity C-reactive protein (HSARP) can track your inflammatory status. Optimal levels for seniors are below 1.0 mg per liter, while levels above 3.0 mg per liter indicate high inflammation that needs attention. Stress management also affects inflammation levels. Chronic stress increases inflammatory markers, while relaxation techniques like deep breathing, meditation, or gentle yoga can reduce them. Even 10 minutes of daily relaxation practice can measurably reduce inflammatory markers over time. Number 5. Targeted micronutrient support, the muscle helpers. Now let's explore the specific micronutrients that act as facilitators for muscle growth and maintenance. While macronutrients like protein get most of the attention, certain vitamins and minerals are absolutely essential for your body to effectively use that protein and maintain muscle function. How exactly do these micronutrients support muscle health? Think of them as the catalysts that make muscle protein synthesis possible. Without adequate levels of these nutrients, no amount of protein or exercise will prevent muscle loss. Research from the University of Vermont shows that seniors with optimal micronutrient levels maintain significantly more muscle mass compared to those with even mild deficiencies. Let's start with magnesium, which researchers call the forgotten electrolyte for muscle health. This mineral is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions related to muscle function, yet more than 70% of seniors are deficient. Magnesium is essential for muscle contraction, relaxation, and protein synthesis. It also helps regulate calcium in muscle cells and supports the production of ATP, the energy currency of muscles. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that seniors with adequate magnesium levels had 30% stronger grip strength and significantly better physical performance compared to those with even slightly low levels. The study followed 1,000 participants for 3 years and showed that maintaining optimal magnesium levels was associated with better muscle mass retention. The best food sources of magnesium include dark leafy greens like spinach and Swiss chard, nuts and seeds, especially pumpkin seeds and almonds, dark chocolate, and whole grains. However, many seniors benefit from supplementation with highly bioavailable forms like magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate, which are better absorbed than cheaper forms like magnesium oxide. Next is creatine, which isn't just for young athletes. Research from McMaster University shows that creatine supplementation in older adults significantly improves muscle mass, strength, and even cognitive function when combined with resistance training. Creatine helps regenerate ATP in muscle cells and increases water content in muscles, creating an environment that supports muscle growth. The effective dose for seniors is 3 to 5 grams daily, which can be taken at any time. Unlike the loading phases sometimes recommended for athletes, seniors can take a consistent daily dose and see benefits within 2 to 4 weeks. Creatine monohydrate is the most researched and effective form. Methylated vitamin B12 deserves special attention for seniors. As we age, our stomach acid production decreases, which reduces our ability to absorb B12 from food. Additionally, common medications like proton pump inhibitors and metformin can further deplete this essential vitamin. B12 is crucial for nerve function and energy production in muscles. The challenge is that most multivitamins contain cyanocobalamin, a synthetic form of B12 that requires conversion in the body. Many seniors do better with methylcobalamin, the active form that's readily available to cells. This is particularly important for seniors with genetic variations that affect B12 metabolism. Trace minerals like zinc, selenium, and chromium play equally important roles in muscle health. Zinc is essential for protein synthesis and wound healing. Selenium supports antioxidant function in muscles, and chromium helps with insulin sensitivity, which affects nutrient delivery to muscle tissue. A comprehensive study from Tufts University found that seniors with optimal levels of these trace minerals maintained 22% more muscle mass over 5 years compared to those with suboptimal levels. The researchers concluded that micronutrient status was as important as protein intake for maintaining muscle mass in older adults. Rather than taking a generic multivitamin, many seniors benefit from targeted supplementation based on their individual needs. Micronutrient testing can identify specific deficiencies and allow for personalized supplementation strategies. This approach is more effective and cost-efficient than taking supplements you may not need. Alpha-lipoic acid and acetyl L-carnitine are two additional compounds that support muscle health by protecting against oxidative damage and supporting mitochondrial function in muscle cells. Research shows these nutrients can help maintain the energy-producing capacity of muscles and support recovery after exercise. The practical approach involves first optimizing your diet to include a variety of nutrient-dense foods. Dark leafy greens, nuts, seeds, lean proteins, and colorful vegetables provide many essential micronutrients. Then consider targeted supplementation for nutrients that are difficult to obtain in adequate amounts from food alone. Timing can matter for some nutrients. Magnesium is often better absorbed when taken with meals and may promote better sleep when taken in the evening. Creatine can be taken anytime but is often more convenient with meals. B12 is best absorbed on an empty stomach but can be taken with food if it causes stomach upset. Number 6. Neuromuscular connection preservation, keeping the communication strong. Let's explore a fascinating aspect of muscle health that many seniors don't realize: the connection between your nervous system and your muscles. This neuromuscular connection is often the weakest link in maintaining strength as we age. How exactly do neuromuscular connections affect muscle strength? Think of these connections as the electrical wiring between your brain and your muscles. When these connections start to deteriorate, which happens more rapidly after age 60, your brain can't effectively communicate with your muscles. No amount of protein or exercise will help if your nervous system can't properly activate your muscle fibers. Research from the University of Michigan reveals that exceptionally strong seniors have significantly better neuromuscular connections compared to their peers. Even more encouraging, scientists have identified specific activities that can preserve and even repair these vital connections. The first strategy involves coordination and precision training, activities that require your nervous system to recruit muscle fibers in specific patterns can strengthen the brain-muscle connection. Research shows that activities like Tai Chi, dancing, tennis, or even ping pong can enhance neural pathways to muscles more effectively than traditional strength training alone. These activities work because they require complex, coordinated movements that challenge your nervous system to precisely control muscle activation. A 2020 study found that seniors who participated in coordination-demanding activities twice weekly preserved neuromuscular connections 31% better than those who only did conventional exercise. The beauty of these activities is that they're enjoyable and social, making them sustainable long-term habits. Dancing, for example, requires rhythm, balance, coordination, and memory, all while moving your muscles in precise patterns. This multifaceted challenge strengthens neural pathways more effectively than repetitive exercises. The second approach involves specific nutrients that support neuromuscular health. Research indicates that alpha-lipoic acid can help prevent oxidative damage to nerve-muscle connections, while acetyl L-carnitine supports the energy needs of nerve cells. These nutrients help maintain the health of the neuromuscular junction, the crucial connection point between nerves and muscles. Even more promising is the role of certain B vitamins. Forms like benfotiamine, a fat-soluble form of B1, can enhance nerve function, while compounds like huperzine A, found in Chinese club moss, can boost acetylcholine, the primary neurotransmitter responsible for muscle activation. These nutrients help ensure that nerve signals can effectively reach muscle fibers. The third strategy involves specific breathing techniques that stimulate the vagus nerve, which plays a role in neuromuscular transmission. Simple breathing exercises can increase neural activation of muscles by up to 15% in just 5 minutes of daily practice. One effective technique is box breathing. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. This pattern stimulates the vagus nerve and enhances the nervous system's ability to communicate with muscles. The practice is simple enough to do anywhere and can be particularly beneficial before exercise or physical activity. Perhaps most intriguing is the connection between mental activity and neuromuscular health. Columbia University conducted a landmark study showing that seniors who regularly engaged in challenging cognitive activities had significantly better preserved muscle function. The researchers discovered that brain training had a direct positive effect on the neuromuscular system because the brain and neuromuscular system share many neural pathways. This means that activities like crossword puzzles, learning new skills, reading challenging material, or even learning a new language can indirectly support muscle function. The mental stimulation helps maintain the overall health of neural pathways, including those that control muscle activation. The practical implementation involves incorporating these neuromuscular preservation activities into your routine. Start with one coordination-based activity that you enjoy, perhaps dancing, tai chi, or even playing catch with a grandchild. The key is choosing activities that challenge your coordination and require precise muscle control. For breathing exercises, begin with just 5 minutes daily of focused breathing practice. This can be done while sitting comfortably and requires no special equipment. The consistency is more important than the duration. Mental stimulation should be varied and challenging. Instead of doing the same crossword puzzle every day, try different types of mental challenges. Learn a new hobby, take up a musical instrument, or engage in strategy games. The variety helps stimulate different neural pathways. Balance training deserves special mention as it specifically challenges neuromuscular connections. Simple balance exercises like standing on one foot or walking heel to toe can significantly improve nerve-muscle communication. These exercises force your nervous system to make constant adjustments to maintain stability, strengthening the neural pathways involved in muscle control. Number 7. Hormetic stress exposure. Controlled challenges for strength. Our final habit might seem counterintuitive. Deliberately exposing yourself to specific types of controlled stress. This concept, called hormesis, involves brief exposures to mild stressors that actually make your body stronger and more resilient. How exactly does hormetic stress benefit muscle health in seniors? The principle behind hormesis is that small amounts of stress that would be harmful in large doses can actually trigger beneficial adaptations when applied in controlled, brief exposures. For muscles, these controlled stressors activate cellular defense mechanisms that help preserve and even enhance muscle function well into your 80s and beyond. Research from the Buck Institute for Research on Aging shows that seniors who regularly expose themselves to hormetic stressors maintain better muscle mass and strength compared to those who avoid all forms of stress. The key is that these stressors must be brief, followed by adequate recovery time. The first and most accessible hormetic stressor is temperature variation. Cold exposure, such as ending your shower with 30 to 60 seconds of cold water, activates brown fat, increases mitochondrial biogenesis, and triggers the release of adiponectin, a hormone that protects muscle tissue from breakdown. The cold exposure doesn't need to be extreme. Even cool water that makes you slightly uncomfortable can provide benefits. Heat exposure works similarly but through different mechanisms. Regular sauna use or hot baths activate heat shock proteins that protect muscle cells from damage and help repair them. A Finnish study found that 10 years of regular sauna use was associated with 40% less muscle loss compared to non-users. The study defined regular use as 4 to 7 times weekly, but even 2 to 3 sessions per week can provide benefits. For seniors without access to a sauna, hot baths can provide similar benefits. The key is raising your core body temperature enough to activate heat shock proteins, which typically requires 15 to 20 minutes in water, heated to 104 to 108 degrees Fahrenheit, 40 to 42 degrees Celsius. Always consult with your healthcare provider before starting heat therapy, especially if you have cardiovascular issues. The second hormetic stressor is time-restricted eating, also known as intermittent fasting. This doesn't mean severe calorie restriction, but rather limiting your eating to a specific window of time each day. Research from the Salk Institute shows that eating within an 8-10-hour window can improve muscle quality and stimulate autophagy, the cellular cleanup process that removes damaged proteins from muscle cells. For seniors, a gentle approach might involve eating all meals within a 10-12-hour window, such as from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. This approach can improve mitochondrial function in muscles by up to 10% within 12 weeks, according to research studies. The key is maintaining adequate nutrition and not reducing overall caloric intake to unhealthy levels. The third hormetic stressor involves brief, intense muscle contractions. This is different from regular exercise and involves overcoming isometrics, pushing or pulling against immovable objects with maximum effort for 5 to 10 seconds. These brief, intense contractions send powerful signals to muscle cells to maintain size and strength without placing excessive stress on joints. Examples include pushing against a wall with maximum force for 10 seconds, or sitting in a chair and pushing down on the armrests as hard as you can. These exercises can be done anywhere and require no equipment, making them perfect for seniors with mobility limitations. The intermittent nature of these stressors is crucial for their effectiveness. They need to be brief and followed by adequate recovery time. For temperature therapy, this might mean cold exposure 3 to 4 times per week with rest days in between. For isometric exercises, every other day allows for proper recovery. Heat-controlled stressors activate longevity genes, including sirtuins and FUXO proteins, which specifically work to maintain muscle mass as we age. Research shows that regular hormetic stress exposure can improve muscle protein synthesis, enhance mitochondrial function, and increase resistance to age-related muscle loss. The practical implementation should be gradual. Start with the mildest form of each stressor and slowly increase intensity as your body adapts. For cold exposure, begin with lukewarm water and gradually decrease temperature. For heat exposure, start with shorter durations and comfortable temperatures. Safety considerations are paramount for seniors. Always consult with your healthcare provider before beginning any hormetic stress program, especially if you have cardiovascular issues, diabetes, or other health conditions. The goal is beneficial stress, not harmful stress. Putting it all together, your daily muscle-building routine. Now that we've covered all 7 habits, let's talk about how to integrate them into a practical daily routine that fits into your life as a senior. The key to success is starting slowly and building consistency rather than trying to implement everything at once. Research shows that seniors who gradually adopt these habits have better long-term adherence and results compared to those who attempt dramatic changes overnight. Here's a practical framework for implementing these habits. Morning routine, 15-20 minutes. Start your day with 5 minutes of breathing exercises to activate your neuromuscular connections. Follow this with a protein-rich breakfast that includes 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein. This might be eggs with Greek yogurt or a protein smoothie with berries. If you're including intermittent fasting, this would be when you break your fast. Take your vitamin D supplement with breakfast since it's fat-soluble and absorbs better with food. Mid-morning activity, 20 to 30 minutes. This is an ideal time for coordination-based activities like Tai Chi, dancing, or balance exercises. These activities challenge your neuromuscular connections while providing gentle movement that reduces inflammation. Lunch routine, focus on another 25-30 grams of protein along with a variety of colorful vegetables to support gut health and provide anti-inflammatory compounds. Include some fermented foods like yogurt or sauerkraut if possible. Afternoon strength training, 30 minutes 2 to 3 times per week. This is when you do your progressive resistance training. Remember, 2 30-minute sessions per week are sufficient for significant improvements. Focus on compound movements and gradually increase intensity as you get stronger. Evening wind down, end your day with 25-30 grams of protein at dinner. Take any evening supplements like magnesium and prepare for quality sleep. If you're doing cold or heat therapy, evening can be a good time for hot baths, while cold showers are often better earlier in the day. Special considerations for seniors. Medication timing is important. Some medications can interfere with nutrient absorption, so discuss with your healthcare provider about the best timing for supplements relative to your medications. Start with just 1 or 2 habits and master them before adding more. Many seniors find success by starting with protein timing and vitamin D optimization, then gradually adding other elements. Listen to your body and adjust intensity based on how you feel. The goal is sustainable improvement, not short-term gains that lead to burnout or injury. Keep a simple log of your activities and how you feel. This helps you track progress and identify what works best for your body. Timeline for results. Most seniors start noticing improvements in energy and mood within 2 to 3 weeks of implementing these habits. Strength gains typically become noticeable around 4 to 6 weeks, with significant improvements in muscle mass measurable at 8 to 12 weeks. The key is consistency rather than perfection. Following these habits 80% of the time will yield much better results than trying to be perfect for a few weeks and then giving up. Remember, these habits work synergistically. They're more effective when combined than when practiced individually. The protein timing supports muscle building. The resistance training provides the stimulus for growth. The micronutrients facilitate the process, and the other habits create an optimal environment for muscle maintenance and growth. Conclusion: your journey to renewed strength. We've covered 7 research-backed habits that can help you restore and maintain muscle strength well into your senior years. These aren't just theories. They're practical strategies that thousands of seniors have used successfully to maintain their independence and vitality. The most important thing to remember is that it's never too late to start. Research consistently shows that even seniors in their 80s and 90s can gain significant strength and muscle mass by implementing these habits. Your body has a remarkable capacity to adapt and improve regardless of your starting point. If you found this information helpful, I'd love to hear about your experience. Which of these 7 habits are you most excited to try? Are you already practicing any of them? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts or questions about maintaining muscle strength as we age. If you know someone who might benefit from this information, perhaps a family member or friend who's concerned about staying strong and independent, please share this video with them. These habits have the potential to transform lives, and sharing knowledge is one of the best gifts we can give. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because next week we're going to explore the best foods for brain health in seniors, including some surprising options that can improve memory and cognitive function naturally. Before you implement any of these habits, please remember to consult with your healthcare provider, especially if you have existing health conditions or take medications. While these strategies are generally safe for most people, Your doctor can provide personalized advice based on your individual health situation. Thank you for spending time with me today, and I look forward to supporting you on your journey to renewed strength and vitality.